We arrived in Colombo with a few ideas about what to do there, but nothing was organised. Some planning and clear thinking was in order, so we left the hotel and went to the pub. The beer tower was a bit of a distraction, but eventually we grabbed a couple of tuk-tuks from across the road and left it up to the drivers to show us around.
No, first day. First day? Yeah. Good. Yeah, it's good, eh?
It wasn't that bad really, especially after a few mellowing beers. In fact, we were quite surprised at how quiet and orderly it was on the roads, definitely not like other countries in the region. Buddhism predominates here, as symbolised by the Colombo Lotus Tower, and Buddha watching over the government headquarters. But Hindus, Muslims and Christians add up to about a 30% minority, and their places of worship add to the tapestry of colours and architecture in the city. We visited the Gangaramaya temple and got ourselves blessed for our upcoming adventures.
Australia. Thank you.
The temple here holds thousands of Buddha statues, collected over a period of 120 years. Many of them are gifts from devotees from all over the world. Our brief tour of Colombo came to an end here at the Gala-faced beach promenade, where Colombo's newest buildings stand tall along the coastline of the Laccadive Sea. There was a strange quietness to the strip. Normally, this is a hangout for locals and tourists alike, but the war in the Persian Gulf was keeping at least half of Sri Lanka's tourists away. While less crowds were good for us, it was hurting their economy. We were staying in the Colombo Fort area, which features several large government, commercial and colonial-era buildings. From there we made our way to Petta, one of the local market districts where cultures blend and Hinduism and Islam are thrown into the mix. Here, spirituality competes with commercialism for space and attention. A Hindu temple is crammed in a side street, and the red Jami-ul Alpha Mosque is sandwiched between large shops. Heading into the back streets is like a step back in time, as handcarts and barrows take over from motorised vehicles. And yet, despite the busyness of the place, there was a feeling of calm and order in the chaos, which added yet another layer to the contrasts in Colombo. "40 kilometres west of Kandy lies the town of Kigali. Situated here is the Pinawala Elephant Orphanage, where over 90 abandoned or orphaned elephants are given care and protection after being rescued from the wild. Every day the elephants are led along the street to a feeding and viewing area where they are accessible to the public. The entrance fees collected here help pay the costs of running the project, which are considerable, as each animal is given around 76 kilograms of green matter a day and around 2 kilograms from a food bag containing rice bran and maize.
Look here, hello. Hey, Lila!
The 25-acre reserve is situated on the Maha Oya River, where there are viewing areas to see the elephants bathing and getting a good hose down. It's like a day spa to them, and they clearly enjoy relaxing in the water.
It's like a snake.
Near the town of Dambulla in Sri Lanka's central province is a site of historical and archaeological significance that is dominated by a massive column of granite. Sigiriya, the Lion Rock. Set on top of this 180-metre high monolith are the remains of an ancient palace, fortress and Buddhist monastery. King Kashyapa chose this site for his new capital in 477. He built his palace on top of the rock, and on a small plateau, about halfway up the side, he built a gateway in the form of an enormous lion. The capital and the royal palace were abandoned after the king's death. It was used as a Buddhist monastery until the 14th century, but after this period, no records are found on Sigiriya until the 16th and 17th centuries. Then it was used briefly as an outpost of the Kingdom of Kandy. Today it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of Sri Lanka's most important historical legacies. About an hour's drive east of Sigiriya is another important UNESCO World Heritage Site, the sacred city of Polonnaruwa. Once the capital of ancient Sri Lanka, Polonnaruwa was built between the 10th and 12th centuries and was the thriving commercial and religious epicentre of the country. It was a site worthy of more time than the brief visit we made. One of the things we were loving about Sri Lanka was the great food, with its unique tastes and blends. So when we had the opportunity for lunch with a local, we jumped at it. They picked us up in a cart and took us to our next ride. After a quick pit stop, we were on our way to the village. We rode shotgun with a local Uber driver to the nearby lake. We would later get to enjoy fish caught from here. With the giant Lion Rock as a distant backdrop, we paddled through the peaceful waters and lily pads to the far side of the lake. Our skipper obviously thought we would look a bit more stylish if we adopted some local fashion accessories, so he whipped something up for us.
Thank you.
The necklace and bracelets were stunning, but the hats with the built-in Wi-Fi antennas were killers. As we made our way back and across the lake, the breeze picked up and we were going backwards. Our poor guy paddled himself to exhaustion before he conceded and let me help with the effort, but the grin on his face suggested he was glad of it. We followed the call of the drum and enjoyed a lovely stroll through the settlement to our lunch spot, where we met our hostess. She insisted that we have a quick dueling bongo session. That started out poorly and went completely downhill from there.
No.
My hopes of becoming a percussionist were quickly brought to a two-tap conclusion, and we moved on to something else. And that was getting suitably attired to dine. Unfortunately, when you hold your belly in, your dress falls down. The only way to keep it up is to let it all hang out. Could that explain the plumpness tendency over here? Sri Lankan food owes its amazing flavours to some fundamental ingredients. And, importantly, those ingredients are prepared fresh daily. They are self-grown and produced and processed by hand. Usually the tools and utensils are manually operated devices that require skill, effort and time to get the tasks done. Typically the women in a Sri Lankan household will begin their day before dawn preparing these ingredients for the daily meals.
Is it water?
Yeah. Oh.
Two staples in their cuisine are coconuts and rice. The effort to get what's needed from these is extraordinary.
Try.
Until you try for yourself, you don't realise how detached we in our culture have become from the simple yet essential process of making our food.
Yeah.
Just one.
Not so hot. Just one.
Just one.
Maybe half.
Little bit.
Little bit. And some
Salt.
salt. And some tomatoes.
Onion.
Shallot.
And coconut.
And coconut. Ooh,
Coconut sambal.
coconut sambal.
Lime.
Lime.
Yeah.
Again,
The
sorry?
grinder machine.
In the machine.
Yeah. No blender.
No blender.
Blender for us.
No.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
You're a much better woman than me.
Yeah.
Sri Lanka blender.
Yeah. Powder.
Oh, that's the flour.
This.
Oh,
yeah.
rice, yeah.
Yeah. Rice.
Out there?
Yeah,
Yeah. You
rice.
grow rice?
Yeah.
You grow rice?
Rice.
Yeah.
Right. No.
One. Oh, you have to swap hands. Okay.
Okay, madam, come.
No?
No, no.
Ah.
Very good.
Not very good.
You lost all the rice. There's no more rice left. It's all
Oh,
gone.
gone.
Amberelle. Amberelle. Mango curry.
Oh,
Ooh.
mango.
Amberelle. Lady's finger.
The coconut is the cornerstone of cooking and many other things besides. The water is used in various consistencies for curries, rotis and rice cooking, the flesh for sambals and sweets, the shells for bowls and ladles, the fibres for
making a
matting,
mat for the
brushes,
roof.
mattresses and upholstery, the leaves and trunks for anything from baskets to building materials, and the oil for cooking, cosmetics and biofuels. It is just about in every corner of Sri Lankan life. Saji's Place is a local restaurant that also conducts cooking classes. For less than the price of a cooked-up dinner back home, we enjoyed a 4-hour hands-on experience that resulted in the best
I'm
meal we had in our
explaining this,
whole
you
trip.
know, about spices and everything just to know, and later we will show you and we will teach you how to use all these ingredients, spices properly for Sri Lankan curries. Explain from this one, right? I'll start with this one. Right, this is called Ceylon cinnamon. Ceylon cinnamon, Sri Lankan cinnamon, best in the world. This gives flavor, smell, health benefits. So that's why this is known as the king of spice. This is used almost in every Sri Lankan curry. But extra we use sugar. This is the only difference between meat or fish curries. Alright, first take out the water. Cinnamon, add just like that, crushed and not finely chopped.
Oh, so separate when you add
Fenugreek.
Yeah.
Use your 3 fingers, take 1 pinch and add just like,
roasted curries,
yeah, I told you, this is the best one to cook dal and most of vegetable curries because this gives mild and lighter flavor. Okay, cover, yeah. And when we cook these kind of vegetables like pumpkin or beetroot, we don't cover it. We don't cover them.
Kind of like steam
It's
it
all,
a little bit.
yeah. It's almost like when you place your hand, it's like almost like half of the amount of the vegetables. A little bit more, just a little few drops. No garlic from there and the ingredients, but keep all these just like we did before. Takes the leaves off, snap, and this one slices, but keep all the ingredients separates on this plate.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we can
Right,
do one
but
by one.
yeah, but you can keep these both leaves together because we add both leaves at the same time.
Okay, now do we go royalties?
For chicken and one for mango. And 1 pinch of fenugreek because this is a curry. Okay?
Yep.
So we use mustard seeds and fenugreek. So first we add these 2. This is how we are going to add these ones. First all the leaves, and second this one, ginger and garlic paste, and third these 3, fourth this one, and the last this. It's green chili.
Green chili.
Water or light milk, right? I'm going to add a little more. Okay, that's enough, right? Mix.
Yeah.
And salt. And then we have fluffy and dry rice.
And it tasted as good as it looks. Kedula National Park is a smaller, less visited park, about 1 hour drive north of Sigiriya. There wasn't a high concentration of animals here, but it was at least a nice place to spend the morning. Yet another UNESCO World Heritage Site is Dambulla Golden Temple. This temple complex dates back to the 1st century BCE. It has 5 caves under a vast overhanging rock which towers over 150 metres above the surrounding plains. Within the caves are 153 Buddha statues and over 1,500 murals and paintings. Here, in the main chamber, there is a 15-metre Buddha sculpture carved in the rock of the cave wall. At Kandy, we visited the Temple of the Sacred Tooth relic. It is located in the Royal Palace complex of the former Kingdom of Kandy, and it houses the relic of the tooth of the Buddha. Since ancient times, the relic has played an important role in local politics because it is believed that whoever holds the relic holds the governance of the country. In April 2025, a public exposition of the tooth relic was held. That drew approximately 450,000 devotees in a single day, with queues stretching nearly 10 kilometres. The severe overcrowding and fatigue resulted in 4 deaths and more than 300 hospitalisations, primarily due to heat exhaustion. Judging from the crowds we witnessed on a regular worship morning, it was easy to imagine this happening. Completed in 1595, the complex has a long and deep history, and in 1988 it was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Here, by the Kandy Lake, is the Kandyan Cultural Centre, which hosts nightly performances showcasing traditional Sri Lankan music, dancing and arts. It was a high-energy show that left us thirsty and with an appetite. Inspired by the firewalkers, we headed out for a beer and a barbecue.
Thank you.
Our next stop was Nuwara Eliya. Our accommodation was high on the hill overlooking the lake, and as we sat on our balcony sipping sundowners, we were wishing we had more time to spend here. But the purpose of our stopover was to experience the famous Kandy to Ella train journey. In late 2025, a devastating typhoon had caused widespread damage to much of the country, and the railway between Kandy and Ella was shut down. Now, in March 2026, a short section had been restored, starting just down the road from Nuwara Eliya at Ambuela and going all the way to Ella. And that was our mission. Carly, our fixer, arranged for us to come up front with the driver. We were like a couple of kids in a toy shop.
Hey, Mark.
I got into trouble for that one. Apparently it's one toot only.
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
One.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
After having our fun with the horn, as lads do, our journey reached its climax at the end of one last tunnel. We emerged into the daylight, where we were met by a mob of tourists and sightseers at the famous Nine Arches Bridge. Everyone was there to capture one of the most iconic photos in Sri Lanka, the Kandy to Ella train crossing the bridge, made even better by our heads hanging out of the driver's cabin.
Thank you very much. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Cheers.
After awkwardly disembarking, we made a dash to witness another unique sight. From Dimadara station, the track spirals around the mountain and back under itself through a tunnel beneath the same railway station it just stopped at. The loop is only 900 metres in diameter and was designed to overcome the steep highland gradient as the track continues to Badulla. And yes, there are 9 arches. The drone pilot just had to get this shot. Set in the highlands of central Sri Lanka, Ella is one of the country's most popular tourist towns. Here, we stayed just out of the hustle amongst the treetops and overlooking a valley that seemed to stretch on forever. Behind our homestay was the town, with all of its tourist trappings. It may have been the least authentic town that we had visited on the trip, but it redeemed itself with its great restaurants and bars. A little bit of tourism vibe was okay for a short while. About 40 kilometres south of Ella, in the highlands of the Haputali region, is the renowned viewpoint of Lipton's Seat. The trip up is best enjoyed in tuk-tuks, so we grabbed a couple and off we went.
3 peas in the pod.
Snug as a bug in a rug.
Yeah. Very nice, Ken. Fashion statement. Oh, we've all got our flowers. Irene's going for
come
the
here,
middle
he
of the
wants to
chest
take a
look.
photo.
Maria's going for the behind the ear look. Ken's doing both ways, forward and reverse.
I've been mates with this bloke for over 25 years, and only now did I realise he had a feminine side. That was a little bit too much to process all at once, so I was happy to be distracted by the views. The poor little tuk-tuk was really getting a workout today. Oh, the bus is actually giving way to a tuk-tuk. Can you believe it? These tea plantations were originally established by Sir Thomas Lipton and now belong to the Damaten Tea Factory. Tea leaf pickers are nearly all women from the Tamil region in India. They continue a 150-year tradition that was started by the British in the 1800s, who exploited them for their cheap labour. And, sadly, the women still endure poor pay and working conditions to this day. Large numbers of these immigrant workers remained in Sri Lanka, particularly in the northern and eastern regions. From this was born a separatist organisation known as the Tamil Tigers. The mountains and forests surrounding Ella offer some beautiful adventure activities. One of those is the short hike up to Little Adams Peak. It's one of those hikes where the views on the way up are just as good as those from the top. There are actually 2 small peaks, both with spectacular views. The first has a very easy access. The second is a bit of a scramble. But the effort is nothing compared to the reward of the view. Udawalawa is in south-central Sri Lanka, where the elevation is low and the temperatures are high. It's a quiet and relaxed spot where the baker still delivers his own bread
What's your car?
and little family-owned grocery shops hide in the shade. We had a great place to stay here, and we had it almost all to ourselves. In a beautiful setting with a nice pool and lovely food on offer, it had a lot of colonial-era charm to it. Coconut curry was on the menu for tonight's dinner, but first you have to get the coconuts. The dinner was great and certainly worth his efforts. The Elephant Transit Home in the Udawalawa National Park is a repatriation centre for injured elephants and orphaned calves. Decades of civil war in Sri Lanka left behind uncleared landmines that still cause severe and often fatal injuries to wild elephants. These blasts usually destroy the cushioned soles of their feet, leading to painful septicemia and a high mortality rate. Rescued orphans are reared and returned to the wild, but those who lost legs remain at the centre and receive prosthetics where possible. Udawalawa National Park was the most productive for the time we were there. There was quite a diversity of creatures and the experience was peaceful and leisurely. But we weren't lucky enough to spot any leopards. There were less tourists here than usual because of the Iranian war closing air traffic from the west. But here at the entrance to Yala National Park, you could have had us fooled. We were told that today there were about 130 vehicles lined up at the entrance. Normally that number would be around 600. Even with vastly less numbers, it was still utter madness.
Black and white bird is the open bill.
Yala is Sri Lanka's most popular park. It has the highest density of leopards in the world, and that's what attracted us and all the other tourists. But today must have been their rostered day off. So far, our trip had been spent in Sri Lanka's inland and mountainous regions. We were rewarded with spectacular views and great wildlife encounters. but now it was time to experience the famous southern coast and the change of scenery. Tangala Beach is one of the most beautiful beaches you could imagine, pristine and spectacular. And our hotel took full advantage of that. Swim up bar, infinity pool, Indian Ocean backdrop. Not bad. Our adventure now took on a different turn. We rented 3 tuk-tuks for a couple of days and drove them from here to Gullah. We took to it pretty well and were mixing it with the locals in no time at all. Although that was made pretty easy by the fact that the people here are very gentle and respectful to everyone. Having our independence and rolling along at our own pace down quiet scenic roads was the perfect way to travel around here. We came across Humanaya blowhole, the second largest in the world. Of course, the world's biggest blowhole is currently in the United States. There are differences between the two, however. The Sri Lankan one was not elected and gushes only salt water. We found beautiful swimming beaches with little bars and lots of interesting things to look at. And you could even get a private massage right on the beachfront. It was time to leave the laid-back Tangala coast and make our way to Marissa. We drove on the coast road, but it was becoming progressively busier the further west we went. The Iran war had another effect here. It caused a severe fuel shortage. Strict rationing measures were in place and many fuel stations were closed. And where there was fuel available, the queuing time to get your allowance was usually over an hour. We didn't realise this was a queue until we had reached the fuel station. As we were about to turn back and join it at the end, the armed police who were keeping things under control waved us in to the head of the line. And once again, the kind nature of the Sri Lankan people showed as they politely let us in with a smile.
Chaos at the fuel station, fuel's rationed, everybody's jostling for positions. Preferential treatment for tourists.
Yeah.
These bloody tourists, they just think they can push in, you know? They don't have to queue up like everybody else.
Where's my drink?
All lots for the excitement.
Hey?
That's it, sir.
Yeah. Hey! You know where you're going?
Fueled up again and away from the chaos, we found ourselves on a nice run-in road to Marissa. The beach here has lots of vibe and atmosphere. We had great accommodation with our own private entrance to it. Passing through that gate, this was the scene that greeted us. Parrot Rock is a bit of a feature at the end of the beach, although the sign would be better placed before the crossing.
Well, only one time for Greg.
The seafood looked amazing, so we had pizza. The same beach, first thing in the morning, was totally different. This time we went a little further and ended up at Turtle Beach. The turtles were there, but unfortunately the underwater camera was not. Stilt fishing, a traditional fishing method that began after World War II, is practiced along this coast. It began due to food shortages and crowded shores, but after the 2004 tsunami, its practical use has been diminished to a performance for tourism. Now, we are only a short distance from Gala, the final destination of our trip. As we enter the old fort area of Gala, we arrive at a place totally different to anything we had seen on the trip. It's the provincial capital and largest city of Southern Province, but within the fort walls, this beautiful old heritage town has a quiet sophistication and charm to it. It was originally built by the Portuguese in 1588 and extensively fortified by the Dutch in the 17th century. It has a colourful history, a multi-ethnic and multi-religious population, and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The buildings reflect the bygone era of colonial domination of the city and the blend of cultures over time. Many are crumbling and in need of attention, but are gradually being restored by the Sri Lankan government with financial support from the government of the Netherlands. Another stunning landmark here is the giant banyan tree. It's somewhere between 300 and 500 years old and is a testament to the city's long history. Grootkerk, the Dutch Reformed Church, Mirren Mosque, and the All Saints Anglican Church are highly visible reminders of the cultural harmony that exists here. No matter where you are in the world, ask a taxi driver what's wrong with things and who is to blame, and they've all got it sussed. In Sri Lanka, it's the tuk-tuk drivers.
Crazy. Who are you talking about? Donald Trump. This is going on YouTube for the world. You say, tell me all about Donald Trump. No, yeah, come on.
No, fair enough. No.
Neither way.
Russia, no friendly, no smiling, no speaking, always blah, 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 blah. We don't like that.
And Donald Trump?
Huh?
You like Donald Trump?
Very good.
And while the scenery and culture is fantastic,
That's very good.
it was the kind, gentle nature of the people that made the greatest impression.